You're watching Newsnight here on Arise News with me, Michael Kelly, in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. And we have more news for you. In a society that runs on capitalism, ours seems to have a harder time talking to our children about personal finance than we do about sex, race, and even death. Maybe it's because so many of us are so bad at financial matters ourselves. Now, one reason we are so bad at personal finance is that many of us were not thought about it when we were young. And this seems to be changing in Nigeria. As a group, life skills experts are enthusiastic about getting this information to children. OMAGBITSE Barrow, one of the experts putting this together, discusses with me tonight. OMAGBITSE, thank you very much for joining me on Newsnight. Why is financial literacy important for Nigerian children?
Well, financial literacy is a very important part of education. The purpose of education is to prepare children to be independent in life. And one of the things my colleagues and I realized was that, like you said in your introduction, that if education is to prepare us for life, one of the very important things we need to deal with as adults in the real world is managing money. So education prepares us with maths and English and science and the arts. But in the real world, one of the biggest challenges that we have is managing our financial resources. So it is incumbent on us as educators, as parents, and as people who are responsible for the next generation of people in Nigeria and everywhere else in the world to prepare children for the world of financial literacy and managing their finances.
You know, when you talk about that, some people out there will say, Ama, we don't have money to even give our children to start with. There's, high poverty rate in the country. And even parents, some parents need some financial literacy on how to manage their finances.
Yes.
That perhaps maybe we allow these children to be adults and they will learn along the way.
So why didn't we wait for you to learn to become an adult before you started to speak English or to solve maths? So is it, and it goes back to my point that the purpose of education is to prepare you for your future. You can't get into your future and then start to figure it out. Then by that time it's too late. So the idea of education is to say that even though children may be with parents who are not financially literate, it's important that we educate the children. And sometimes, if you think about the first time Western education came to Nigeria, for example. The parents were not educated. It was the children who got the Western education and oftentimes went home and started to educate their parents. So if we are able to work on Nigerian children in elementary, primary, up to secondary school, and their parents are financially illiterate, then maybe the children can become the ambassadors who will go home and actually educate their parents.
Now tell me, what's the scope of this project you're embarking on right now? Is it to educate all Nigerian children within a certain age? Is it all public schools, private schools? How are you segmenting it?
So what we've done, I mean, the first focus of our organization is to build resources that anybody and everybody can use to learn about financial planning. So we've got storybooks for children, we've got animated books, we've got board games that children and families can play and learn. However, the specific project that we've embarked upon this year was to bring a number of private schools within the FCT and public schools within the FCT and get them to learn about financial planning in an environment that we have created using our resources, videos and audios and books and board games, and to get as many schools to do this on a continuous basis. One of the things we would like is to get many more organizations who are interested in financial planning to support it so that we can spread the campaign as far and wide around the country as possible.
I remember growing up, we have a kind of a piggy bank. In our local language, we call it kolo, where you have, that clay kind of, and you just put your coin in there. Is it part of, something you're considering?
Well, the whole conversations about financial literacy is quite broad. So it starts on from just understanding money. How does money work? And then it moves on to things like saving and investing and insurance and mortgages and pensions and everything that has to do with money, even the ethical use of money. Because you see, some of the problems we have in our larger society, when we talk about corruption and we talk about all of these things, it's probably because people don't really understand that money in itself is not an end, that it's only a means to a better life, and so we deify money, and perhaps it's because we were not well educated about the ethics of money.
Thank you very much, OMAGBITSE Barrow. Thank you very much, and we hope that you'll come back here in one of these times.
I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.